2 centimeter onder de rand.
How would you describe your food system?
I don't know, at the moment, what I've been thinking is actually to really make the most of like local and seasonal food. So, for example, I have cravings for chocolate or for cake or whatever. These kind of things which are coming from a process and from far away normally. I'm trying to see if I can like kind of settle these cravings from what's actually available. So to be less dependent on kind of transport and shady food systems. See how.
How do you do that in practice? Like eat carrots instead?
No, like if I think like, okay, I really want to eat chocolate, then I'm going to think, okay, what is it about chocolate that I want to eat? Is it the sweetness? Is it the texture? Is it the flavor? Is it the saltiness? And then see if I can replicate that maybe somehow in a more local way. But it requires a lot of knowledge about food, and that I don't have.
What do you want to do for the next 5 months?
It's a really big question. I want to become better at fermenting and maintaining and preserving and prolonging food. So that's what I'm going to do.
And what's your interest in food?
My interest in food is to know where stuff comes from. I think I especially have a problem with meat because I like meat a lot. I feel like that's part of my identity, of my German identity. But I don't want to buy meat anymore somehow. So I would like to I would like to get the meat myself somehow. So if that would be Gennepenhoeve and knowing the pigs and knowing where it comes from, that's already super interesting to me. But then this whole if you talk about being involved with your food or being in contact with your food, and you talk about meat, then the killing is a big part. Like killing an animal, because killing a plant, it's interesting to see how it's harvested or harvest it yourself. Like I would be interested in knowing where mushrooms come from, because then they're not just the packaging in the supermarket. But for animals, like killing an animal, that's like the real deal. That's really knowing your meat, like knowing your food, because there are consequences to that,
That's interesting because this one is not organic. So I'm wondering how this will end. Just like everyone else, I have one of these at home. What's your jar message? 48. This one just says sourdough bread and add salt water.
So what's this? Basically, I was writing a lot of notes and stuff, like on Google Docs and on TextEdit and on my iPad, and I thought it'd be super nice if everything was just in one place. So I made this roll. Kind of expansion of the idea of opening a one-day restaurant. It's kind of like an event to showcase what's possible, and also in how much power an individual can have over their food systems. Great. And I also talked to you guys individually about how we could also incorporate like Ulle's fermenting and your hunting into this place, so it can be like the area where everything kind of comes together in there.
And further?
Yeah, since then I met with Sari, she was like one of the founders of Gardemania. There was a group of 5 of them. Like they come from kind of creative backgrounds. And because she has really good kind of knowledge about how to set up this kind of initiative and how to run something like this, how to get people involved. And I was kind of asking her also about this network that she has, like what's happening in Eindhoven, because I think that's really important. Yes, that's really a big part of the research so far, like meeting with people which are already kind of active in the field.
Okay. It would be good to know how the rabbits migrate. I think this looks good maybe. Like if you were a rabbit, I think you can walk. Like there, it seems like you can walk through. Maybe not.
Do you think this is really healthy?
Maybe not healthier health-wise, maybe also that, but definitely healthier for my wallet and healthier for my perception of food. It smells super sweet, but very strong. This is water kefir, and I got it 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and I never renewed him. Usually you keep him outside for like 1 or 2 days, and then you make a new one. But this one has just been living or not living since I got him. Then again, it's interesting that I don't have time for it, or that it's difficult to fit in my schedule. I think it's when I'm super busy or when I'm super bored. Like, I'm not saying when I'm doing this, then I'm often more happy. But when I'm working really hard and I'm also like engaging a lot in the projects, then I do it less because my mind is somewhere completely else, I think. I think my focus then is not on food, my focus then in kind of being awesome or being very prominent in like school related things, like working super hard. Tastes a bit like beer. Tastes a bit like fresh beer. But I'm not sure if that's supposed to be. It's quite sweet.
A restaurant and not just a dinner, because you want to prepare something for like a special meal for people.
There's also like 2 reasons. One is like because I think in the future I would really like to open a restaurant or something for myself. Like career-wise, I think this is a really good practice, and I think when I'm studying, when I'm young, yeah, why not? We have the time and the space to do this and to try it out. Another one is because like with a dinner, it's different because I think that you don't consider it as strongly as when you go to a restaurant. I think when you're in a restaurant, you're more critical, or you're more asking questions, or you're more open to an experience, like you're being served. But if you're with a dinner, then everyone is bringing something, and I think the feeling and the atmosphere is a bit different.
Why are you helping Sari?
For one, I want to see how it kind of goes, like to do an event which is a bit more official than some guys did before. So like where people are paying and they're like strangers that you don't know which are coming. So for me it's interesting kind of how you organize an event, how you deal with such a thing.
Do you have stuff that you think you should do differently, or do you do it?
Yeah, for like the preparation, like to spread it out for sure. I think that's it. Like the rest, of course, there was some stuff like having beer, for example, or wine, or sorting out a bar. That's really important for people. Music, like that's nice. Like to think of it from the beginning.
So what do you take home from this evening?
I think definitely to really think, or to realize the fact that it's not possible or useful to do something like this alone. Like from the beginning you should already plan to have at least 2 people working on it. Already I think about it, but just these extra things like the music and the drinks and how people are gonna feel throughout the time. Not just what it is, but also the things around it, like what people need. Also like the thing of like I'm gonna take the recipes of course and I'm gonna try it again, and I would also like to have some of this stuff at the event in the end. And yeah, it was good.
Like how to actually kill it, because I think that's very important.
I don't know. I killed this pigeon before, and I thought about just pulling on its head.
No, but I really think you need to be really more like specific, because I think a duck also has a super strong neck.
Yeah.
And the body is really different than a pigeon. And when you killed the pigeon was like not so recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you feel actually?
I feel quite good about it. Catching bunnies is really hard, and I read some stuff about catching ducks, which is easy, and we're at the prime duck location. I'm wearing casual clothes. These are my canoeing pants and sunglasses to look unsuspicious. I feel like we have to like kind of camouflage it in a social way. So we'll just hang out somewhere, sit down, talk about love affairs, and we'll feed some ducks, because we like animals. And then when they're close, then we'll grab one. Thinking how lovely it is here and what move I can make to get one of those. Like this one, I think this looks good. He looks a bit too eager.
Does it make you nervous that there's people around?
Yeah, very nervous. It's the main problem. Otherwise I would have done it, I think. At least tried. It's just not going to happen today. That's the perfect place. Like that's the only place in Eindhoven where I've seen so many ducks at once. And there's this perfect situation when they come close to you and they're just right in front of you, and then they're just there for the taking. Like that's the technique, I think. But there's too many people there. It's impossible.
So what now?
Now we're going to slowly walk back and see what happens. I think also you need these things need time, like they need a bit of chilling. This one, yeah, I don't know.
but I think no matter how much time we spend here, it's still gonna be the thing of the people.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly. So I think I should come back in a different time. I don't know if you want to come.
Or you cannot come alone.
Yeah, I think we should come back in the early morning. I think that's the best. Yeah. Quite violent.
How did it feel? Was it the first time you tried that much?
Yeah. Yeah. Felt. Yeah, I think when the ducks are closer, it's easier. Like they're over there, they just come really close to you, and now I really had to jump.
Yeah.
And I think I have to focus on one duck because I was just. I don't know what happened. Tried to catch something. But I think, yeah, I don't know. It's more violent. It's more violent than I thought. Or at least, you know, if I do that over there, then it's really breaking social boundaries. And here it's kind of like, oh yeah, that just happened. The ducks are not really, they're not coming back, I think. I was before we went to the ducks, you know, last time when we the grab accident. There I felt like, oh, why do I really have to do this? I don't really, you know, I was kind of feeling hesitant about it because I don't really have this like drive to do. Maybe it's not good to say that for the documentation, but I don't really have that drive to like, oh, I really want to kill ducks, you know. Like maybe you think that I'm like a killer, but I don't really want to do it. And then I was there and I was into it. And I thought, okay, I can do this, and I mean, I almost did. And but then, you know, me grabbing that duck and hurting it and having a handful of feathers. That was not so. I didn't like that so much. I was quite shocked. I think, you know, in normal life we're just hanging around. You know, we are like patting each other on the shoulder. But then in that moment you really have to like, do something. You know, like grab something, like hurt somebody. So it's something. It's like a border that you have to cross. And I was ready at that moment. I was ready to But then when I was ready to cross that border, I had already done that. But then when I thought about it later, I thought, what the fuck did I do? What is this? You know, I felt guilty. I don't know. Yeah, I think I felt guilty. So this is your sauerkraut.
Yeah. We're gonna just see what it looks like. Because I have no idea. Smells like... Yeah. Now it has super much oil on it. It's super spicy. Like through. And tastes really fucking good. Okay. See about this one. Here I had to make kind of a thing to keep the lid down. There's mold on the sides and you have like more mold inside. Like small islands of brown, gooey, strange stuff on top of the oil and like under the oil.
First we take out the safety lid. It smells much more like sauerkraut. And it tastes really good. This one doesn't at all taste like sauerkraut because it's really salty and has the chili inside, but it still has this kind of acidness behind all the salt and stuff. This one has much less salt, tastes much more like real sauerkraut, but has mold on top and smells like shit up here, even though it tasted completely okay.
So which one do you prefer?
I don't know. This one, because it's super tasty.
Yeah.
It's like a new experience. This one, I mean sauerkraut, I already know. But it's super cool that it's kind of working. Yeah, or almost working. Don't know how to evaluate this. But I made things.
You're surprised?
Yeah. I think the tricky thing has been a lot to keep it up somehow. I mean, I do stuff in the kitchen always to a certain extent, and I'm quite good at it and I'm quite fast at it, but like right now, being in this life, it doesn't really fit somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to take time for doing these kind of stuff because it's stressful. You're doing 1,000 projects at the same time. You want to do them really good. I work in my atelier until 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Sometimes even Albert Heijn is closed when I come home, so I can just eat milk and cornflakes. I don't know. For me, it's like a knowledge that you have to acquire. Like once I started to do the sourdough bread, now we're also eating it. Like that's something that I've kind of gotten into because you can make the pre-dough in the morning, and then you make the next round, like the real dough, in the evening, and then you bake it in the morning. Like those are things that I've kind of been able to fit in because I have learned how it works in my schedule. Maybe my lifestyle doesn't really suit fermenting today.
So what's this? Olle.
Sourdough bread from 3 days ago.
Oh.
Josh, what's this?
This is cucumber and red onion from the Lekker workshop that we did with Sari, and this is kimchi that I made with the leftovers from that workshop.
So you learned a lot.
Yeah, I think like in a way with working quite closely with Sari, it was just like she just tries stuff out and she just does it, and then no ways is it like super successful. But like for example, this thing at the festival was doing super well, and it's like it kind of encourages me also to think like as long as you have the basics and you have this good attitude, and then you just do it, like that's the only way you can know. I feel like as if I have enough knowledge to just do it, That's kind of nice. It's reassuring. I was asking if you're proud of your babies. There's sauerkraut and bread.
Yeah, I mean it's much more tasty than I thought it would be. Like super tasty. Like the way that I shop has become more critical. Like I was critical already when we started, but now, it's like I'd rather go home and just, eat beans and onion than to go to Albert Heijn and just buy stuff because I don't have anything at home. So in that sense, I'm taking more care of what I already have, and I'm trying to make something out of that. You said about not touching an animal.
No, I'm not sad at all. I really, in the beginning, we talked about I said like, yeah, it's really important to kill an animal,
everybody should know how to do that. And I think there's a reason why I'm a vegetarian.
But do you think that we're really that different from others?
From others?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But it's not like we don't have the same intentions. Like, for example, violence. I feel like I've been coming much closer to violence, and I still think that's the reality of the world. You know, that there is violence and we should be able to use violence. But I don't feel like I should be able to kill an animal at this point. I think I could kill an animal. I would be I would be able to do it. But I don't think I don't need to do that now. I don't want to do that now.
Seriously, I don't even know what this is, but it's really good.
Didn't you make it?
Yeah.
Ah, good job.
Thanks.
Okay. It's a bit of a shame because everything goes brown. When it started, it was such beautiful green and red, purple.